One of the most important things that you'll want to be aware of when you're working with NURB surfaces is the fact that your curves and your surfaces will need to be rebuilt frequently to correct the parameterization that happens. When you loft surface or use any of these NURB surfaces tools, and then you change that surface, it will get your parameterization min max. You've got to watch that constantly because it does get screwed up. When you rebuild your surface, that corrects it. So in order to rebuild, there we go. In order to rebuild your surfaces, you'll want to make sure your CVs are off, unless of course you're changing the number of spans that you are wanting on that NURBS surface, and then you'll go ahead and use the number of spans U and V to correct that. Alright, so just keep in mind that your curves, whenever you create a surface, you want to make sure that your curves have the same number of knots, and that they are facing in the same direction. And you'll need 4 splines or more going in one direction, so that you have you're defining the sides of that polygon, or of the NURBS square surface. So this also needs to be rebuilt. I'm going to increase that to 6. Alright, so again, when we rebuild, we're looking for patches that are more square rather than long rectangles coming together. Here's a patch that needs to be rebuilt. We're looking for 10 across. We want to make sure that there is an isoparm identified right down the center, so when we convert that to polys, then we can work symmetrically. Okay. Alright, and we'll just continue. There's one that needs to be rebuilt. When you rebuild the surface, it does try to put more definition in the curved areas, so you can go in here and identify an additional isoparm, inset isoparm. Alright, so that evens that out just a little bit. Now before you convert your patches to polygons, you just want to make sure that they're all rebuilt. And okay. Alright, I'll just continue working around the surfaces to make sure that everything is coming together. And as soon as we get all of our patches created, then we will start converting our polygons and working with our polygonal tools to define some of the detailed areas, so that when we subdivide the mesh, that it will put the resolution where it needs to be. Alright, even though we don't have all our patches in here yet, I'm rushing ahead to get this information to you. what we want to do is convert these patches to polygons. So we're just simply going to select that once we've rebuilt that into nice even square configuration. We're going to go right up here to modify, convert NURBS to polys. We'll open up the options window. We're going to go to general. Right down here we will choose per span number of isoparms on the V as well. We're going to go set that down to 1 so that we get 1-to-1 ratio on the spans converted. We hit OK, and then we see that we have the same number of polygons that we had for U and V chord width on the isoparm surface. So, alright, and once we have our polygon surfaces all created, then we will go ahead and start attaching those and welding the verts together. And we can go to use our polygon tools to create some additional detail for the vehicle. Alright, so we have a couple of surfaces here. Normally I would go through and do them all, but for the sake of getting you this information quickly, we'll just go ahead and do these two surfaces. Now that these are polygons, they can be combined. So first thing we'll do is come up here to polygons, edit mesh, and mesh, combine. Okay, so now those are combined surfaces, and we can now get in here and weld those verts together. Now what I'll be doing is shift, select all of those that need to be combined.